Today, we're going to dig into a character from Shakespeare's Macbeth you probably think you already know, King Duncan. And we're going to take a really detailed, structured look at him. So, let's just jump right in.
So let's kick things off with a question that really cuts to the chase, not just for Duncan, but maybe for us too. Can being too good actually be your biggest weakness?
You know, most people just remember him as, well, the nice old king who gets killed, right? He's the guy whose murder really gets the whole tragedy of Macbeth rolling. He's basically just the first domino in a long, dark line.
But honestly, that view just scratches the surface. It completely misses the bigger picture. If we actually peel back those layers, what we find is this incredibly complex, relatable leader. And his story, man, it's this powerful lesson about what happens when kindness slams up against the harsh realities of the world. Okay, so first up, let's dive into the emotional heart of who Duncan is. We're calling this first part the vulnerability of kindness. And it's all about this fascinating idea. How can a leader's greatest strength also be their fatal flaw? See, to really get Duncan, you have to realize just how unique he was for a Shakespearean king. I mean, think about it. Most of them are ruling with an iron fist, they're paranoid, always looking over their shoulder. Duncan? He was the complete opposite. And this really lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you've got Duncan's whole approach. It's built on love, on gratitude, on genuine praise, and just total trust. And then you have the standard playbook for a monarch: rule by fear, maintain tight control, make strategic, cautious alliances. Duncan was leading with his heart in a world that, let's be honest, often crushes you for it. And that's the central paradox, isn't it? It's the key to the whole thing. The very things that made him such a beloved ruler. You know, his warmth, his willingness to trust people, his generosity. Those are the exact things that made him a sitting duck for betrayal.
And this is what makes it so powerful. Even today, this quote really bridges the gap, right? 400 years just melt away. It makes Duncan's problem feel so real, so personal. We've all felt that sting, haven't we? That feeling of being hurt, not because you did something wrong, but because you were just too kind.
Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, let's dig a little deeper into the psychology of it all. We're going to look at why he trusted so much. It's a worldview that's, well, it's admirable, for sure, but also incredibly naive. I mean, think about the contrast with Macbeth, whose mind is this twisted, chaotic mess. Duncan's psychology is so much simpler, so much more orderly. He basically believes that the world is just. If you do a good thing, you get a good reward. Simple as that. He represents a world where things are supposed to make sense.
And right there, that's the key to why it all goes wrong. He falls into a classic trap: psychological projection. Basically, because he is an honest, loyal, good person, he just assumes everyone else is wired the same way. He looks at people and sees a reflection of his own goodness, whether it's actually there or not.
You know, it's almost like a formula. You can actually break his behavior down into a clear 4-step pattern. Step 1, he sees a Thane do something seemingly loyal, and he praises them to the heavens. Step 2, he projects his own honesty onto them. Step 3, he gives them his complete, unconditional trust. And Step 4, he gets tragically betrayed. It's a cycle, and it happens again and again.
And Shakespeare gives us two crystal clear examples of this. First, there's the original Thane of Cawdor. Remember him? He was a traitor right at the beginning of the play. And Duncan is just shocked. He has that famous line, "There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face." But then what does he do? He turns right around and makes the exact same mistake with Macbeth. He literally gives the traitor's title and all of his trust to the guy who's about to murder him.
But hold on a second. Was he just naive? Was he just a fool? Maybe it's not that simple. Let's look at the incredible pressure he was under as king. Because maybe his trust wasn't just a personality flaw. Maybe it was a political tool he had to use.
I mean, think about the job description for king. It's not exactly a walk in the park. You have to keep the peace. You've got to reward the people who deserve it. You have to protect the whole kingdom. You simply can't do all of that by yourself. You have to delegate. And that's the impossible situation he's in, right? If you're a king who trusts absolutely no one, what kind of kingdom do you have? It's just going to be filled with fear and suspicion. Nobody gets anything done. So to be an effective ruler, the kind of leader who inspires loyalty, he had no choice but to put his faith in people. Trust wasn't just a feeling for him, it was a fundamental part of his strategy.
Yeah, this quote just hits the nail on the head. To lead the way he wanted to be that good and open-hearted king, he had to be vulnerable. But being that open, well, it's like leaving the front door wide open and hoping no burglars walk by.
All right, so let's pull the camera back a bit. Let's stop looking at Duncan the person and start looking at Duncan the symbol, because his murder, it's so much more than just one man's death. It's like the moment the whole moral compass of the world just shatters.
And just look at this before and after. It's so stark. When Duncan is alive, you've got a natural sense of order. Loyalty means something. Scotland is basically at peace. And then, after his murder, it's just chaos, everything gets turned on its head, loyalty is worthless, ambition destroys everything, and Scotland just descends into this total nightmare.
So, the big idea here is that this isn't just a political hit. It's symbolic. It represents what happens when pure, unchecked ambition is allowed to snuff out innocent goodness. It's a warning about what we lose when that light goes out.
So, that brings us full circle, back to Duncan himself. After 400 years, why does this guy still feel so relatable? He's supposed to be a minor character, right? Just the catalyst. So why does he stick with us?
It's because he wasn't weak. He was just human. I mean, look at this list. He wanted to believe in the best of people. He was genuinely trying to reward loyalty and do the right thing. He loved his family. He loved his country. His only real flaw was being a fundamentally good man in a world where not everyone plays by the same rules. And who can't relate to that struggle?
And that leaves us right back where we started, with a really tough question. Duncan's story is a tragedy, but it's also a challenge for all of us, right now. How do you hold on to your own goodness, your own trust, in a world that can be cynical and dangerous? How do you stay open without getting destroyed?